All right, so EFS or Elastic File System. So go ahead and watch this introduction video from AWS. Once you're finished, you can continue this one. All right, so you already watched the video from the slides. Let's go ahead and define a few terms. So file storage, that's a method of storing data in a hierarchical structure using directories and subdirectories, where files are organized and accessed like in a traditional file system. This should be familiar to you. If you're running on Windows or a Mac, we have, for example, our File Explorer. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my File Explorer. These are directories, right? Our folders are directories. And inside those directories, we have files. So AWS, right? If you want to have a shared directory, maybe you have a company file system that you want to share amongst many different computers. Hosting it on Amazon AWS Cloud can be an excellent option, right? For distributing that file system to many computers in your organization, or maybe sharing it right across not just organization, right? But multiple organizations, making it somewhat semi-public, right? The idea is if you want to share a file system, Amazon has your back. So file system, what are we talking about? We're talking about a file system just like in Windows, Mac. And in the case of actual EFS, they're actually running on Linux for a lot of these services, in case you're curious, right? So Linux, another operating system. So in file storage, multiple clients can access data that is stored in shared file folders. It uses folders and directories to organize data. Folders and directories are pretty much interchangeable. They're synonyms. Ideal for use cases in which a large number of services and resources need to access the same data at the same time. So maybe it's users, maybe it's apps, maybe it's servers. It can be all sorts of clients, right? But if you want to share it across multiple of these clients, then definitely using something like EFS services on Amazon can help you do that. So we have file storage. File system is what manages a file storage. So you can think of the file storage manager as being called a file system. So it's the software mechanism that manages how data is stored. So for example, in the case of Windows, right, we have this nice little interface. We get these little icons, for example. So depending on your OS, right, depending on your system, they're going to organize it in different ways. So yeah, for example, in Linux, one of the file system formats is ext4, something I cover in my other CIS class, Intro to Linux. And then we have distributed file systems. So if you want to spread it across multiple servers, some options are like Hadoop. And then we have cloud-based file systems, which is going to be the focus of our class, managed by cloud providers. One of those example services, of course, Amazon EFS. So Amazon EFS, if you want to manage your file system on the cloud, you want to share it across multiple clients, Amazon's got your back. So it's a fully managed scalable file storage service. Scalable means that it can increase and decrease in size, can handle more storage, right? Less storage, depending on your specific needs. Unlimited storage, remember, one of the benefits of AWS. So it's going to provide shared access to files for AWS compute services like EC2 and Lambda. So again, your clients, the people using the file system, it could be people, but it could also be other AWS services like EC2 and Lambda. So remember, clients don't have to be people. They can be computers too, making requests to other services. So it makes it easy for your organization to run and manage a shared file system. Again, scalable, so it automatically can grow and shrink. You don't have to provision or manage the storage manually. So AWS is actually handling the physical hardware, right? And again, unlimited, virtually unlimited. So you can scale up as far as up as really your mind can imagine. It can be mounted and accessed across multiple instances. So again, connects really well with other AWS services. And then no upfront costs, just like everything in the cloud, you pay for what you use. So comparing EBS with EFS, so the storage scope for EBS, it's in one availability zone. EFS is across multiple availability zones, which makes sense. Given that file systems, right, might be accessed by multiple clients. EBS, right, might be tied to a single like EC2 instance. But yeah, that's just how it's set up. Single AZ, multiple AZ. Data access can be attached to one EC2 instance in the same AZ. Remember, EBS is kind of an alternative to Instance Store. Instance Store, once your instance goes down, so does your data. EBS solves that. EFS is all about collaborating, right, on that file system. So the data access can be accessed concurrently from all its AZs, the multiple AZs. So there's no redundancy in EBS, not automatically at least. With EFS, automatically redundant. Use case, great for high performance, low latency block storage. An example could be databases. This is for shared scalable file storage, right? So block storage is, it seems very similar to a file system, but a file system is literally the entire system of directories and stuff, where block storage is really, think of it as like a bucket, right? You're just throwing everything into one thing. Of course, you can organize your buckets, but file systems really are connecting with existing file systems, like from Windows, Linux, Mac. EBS, not really a file system. More indiscriminate, right, with how you're storing things. Again, think of it as this as a bucket, and this is an actual hierarchical structure of organizing that data. On-premises access, so not directly accessible from on-premises. Again, a lot of these file systems might be within your business organization, right? Across your different users, applications. So you can access from on-premises for an EFS through AWS Direct Connect, for example. This is block storage. This is file storage. Scalability, you do have to manually resize the volumes. Again, you can resize them as big as you want. EFS, just by default, will always automatically scale as you need. All right, so next up, we'll be talking databases.